The Seward Family Archive is a digital humanities project at the University of Rochester that brings together students, undergraduates and graduates to work in collaboration with the River Campus libraries.
The Seward Family Collection is, it is just fabulous because it's huge. It encompasses so many different kinds of records. So letters and government documents and diplomatic information and records and business records, family records, photographs, ledgers, bound books, pamphlets. It's really, the scope is just so huge, and then you get to know this family so well.
The collection itself is about 350,000 pages. A subset of that 25,000 pages is family letters from the extended family.
So people come in to do research in a number of ways. With a collection like the Seward Papers, there's an online finding aid or inventory that can help people access the material. Normally in the past, people would come into our library, they would register as a researcher, they would use the material in our reading room, but the Seward Digital Project has really opened that up. I would say the main challenges to starting something like the Seward Digital Project is really sort of you need to set a lot of parameters to start with. So what are you digitizing? What aren't you digitizing? Who is your audience going to be? Are you going to use volunteers? Going to manage the volunteers? What are your standards for, say, transcription? A lot of thought went into how the letters should be transcribed. And so you really have to put in a lot of work up front to kind of set your rules and regulations and your boundaries. And then once everything's in place, you can deal with the hiccups as they come.
What we've done is we've taught the students how to transcribe and annotate to the standards of the Association of Documentary Editing and the NHPRC. We annotate every person. We try to find the birth date and the death date, the relationships of everybody who's mentioned in the letter. Most of the people mentioned in these letters are not famous people, but we now have the electronic databases that enable us to do this. Also observed fairly early on when one of the graduate students went out to speak in the community about this project, that in an audience of senior citizens, there were people who very enthusiastically, very eagerly, and very fluidly could read the cursive handwriting from the 19th century. When he projected a digital image of one of these letters up onto the screen behind him, the people in the audience could read it as if they were just reading any page of any book or manuscript that we might look at. And then he came back and he said, wow, they are so much better at reading that than the students are. That it was really exciting. Because indeed, when you think about it, students are a very transient labor force. We have them at undergraduates for, 2 years, sometimes 3 years. Once in a I think only in one case have we had a student for the whole 4 years that she was here. Graduate students a little bit better, usually 3 years, 4 years, sometimes 5 years. But there's turnover constantly. It has to be built into our model. The senior citizens stay with us longer, so become more expert, and we don't have to do as much retraining as we used to.
I think people underestimate the amount of work it takes. It's very easy to just put something on a scanner, but it is very, very time consuming to create a whole project that has rigorous standards, to have a team of volunteers and professionals working to coordinate the digitization, the metadata, putting things online, making changes as the project progresses.
Starting this project, we were very fortunate to get funding from the NHPRC, the Fred L. Emerson Foundation, and now the Robert D. L. Gardner Foundation of Long Island, which has helped us to pay students to work on this project as documentary editors, digitizers, and to create the metadata, and the students learned a tremendous amount about history, about all of the range of humanities questions that we bring to what's going on here, and also about connecting to our local community.